Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Times are old, in times of new, there's a guide to follow to make it true. It's the Pop Culture Field Manual.
Welcome back to the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, sitting right in the intersection of action, weapons, fighting with our fists, and the military.
Fist fighting.
Fisticuffs.
Fist fighting.
Yeah. And we are very excited. We have a very special guest with us today. He is an action star. He is a martial artist. He is a very handsome man. Ladies and gentlemen.
Why do you guys always have to add that in?
Because we want to see your face get red for the YouTube channel stuff.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, Noah Flater. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you,
having
man.
me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you have tuned into our Gameology episodes, you know who this dude is. He does the martial artist reacts.
Yeah.
Not as big as the Spec Ops reacts, but it's still there.
we like to give handouts to people.
Absolutely.
We like to spread,
That's why I'm here, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna give you your big break.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, man. I'm super stoked you're here. I think we're going to have a really good conversation.
Yeah.
I have no idea what we're talking about, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
It has to do something with fighting, probably.
That's
Yeah,
right.
most likely.
All right.
We got a bunch of ridiculous questions that you're going to help answer for
Oh,
us today.
shit. Okay, I'm ready.
Before we do, though, Noah,
Yeah.
give us like the 5-minute Cliff Notes version of your life, how you kind of got to where you are today.
Yeah, give us the
And
5 W's,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, who, what, when, where, why.
Yeah.
And wow.
I started training martial arts when I was 4 years old. My parents put me in. My dad was, just a huge avid martial artist. He trained with my instructor. His name's Simon Rhee. So when I turned 17, 18, Simon took me into the industry, started giving me work right away.
Wow.
He's a very well-known stunt coordinator, stunt man. And I started off with my career doing stunts, but I haven't been on a stunt contract since I was like 21, 22. Fast forward, I've built my own production company. I get hired to pretty much produce, write, or act in everything that we create. And if it has to do with action, I'm definitely involved in it. So, that's
And
kinda where
that
I'm
production
at.
is OS Productions.
Yes, OS Films.
OSU.
OSU.
And that
yeah.
comes from...
That's a Japanese term. So a lot of karate guys, when they bow on and off the mat, they always say os, and they bow. And what that means is it translates to push and endure. So you kind of say that when you go on the mat, right? Or when you step off the mat. And I'm like, damn, that's something that like my team and I really resonate with, because filmmaking is like battling in the trenches. It fucking can suck.
Yeah, man.
You'll find a lot of
can-
military parallels there.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure. And it's like, there's just so many moments every single day, just like getting to the gym at 6 a.m. You just post the fuck up and get there and do the work that you got to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where our spirits have resonated, is in OS.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think that really transverses across the whole mindset, because like military martial art, like filmmaking, whatever you want, there's aspects and elements of it that all have to do with one thing, and it's basically
totally.
resilience and having a warrior mindset. We're like, we're gonna go and crush fucking skulls today. Let's go.
Exactly.
So that's super cool. That's something that links us all together, regardless of background. It's straight up mindset. So I'm glad you brought that up.
It's really good for the amps, too, actually.
That's cool,
I
man.
think I pulled something.
Yeah, you gotta warm up next time you do that. But cool, man. We're gonna ask you some questions about just close quarter battle and movies, TVs. What your take on it? Like
shit.
things
Okay,
that you know.
sounds
Feel free
What
to
are your
flow
favorite?
and kind of take it in whatever.
Exactly, man.
direction
If you want to ask us questions, please, it's an open conversation.
Okay, yeah.
This isn't an interrogation.
I'm down. Let's go.
Yeah,
Well, that's
man.
cool, man. So let's get into it then. Hell, let's see. You want to ask the first
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
go
I
for it,
got
man.
something right here. Now, close quarter battle, right?
Yeah.
There's a few things that I know that I learned back when I was in. We learned a little bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, things like that. A little bit of Aikido, actually, for joint locks.
Wow.
What would you say, like CQC, close quarters battle, close, proximity stuff? Is there a style that you've learned, or a couple of different styles? What do you like to use? Practical stuff like that. Talking real world situations.
That's the tricky part. So I've actually have a lot of training. My old instructor used to teach a lot of SEALs, and
Oh, really?
Yeah, some FBI guys, but his main group that he would train are SEALs, and I got to work out with them when I was like 17, 18.
That's awesome.
I've grown up as like a hand-to-hand combat specialist, so I was actually stunned that I was more talented at the time than these guys were at certain movements. Like they can't kick to the head or anything like that.
We're not flexible, man.
They're not training for that. Their training is their trigger finger, right?
Yeah, right.
So the techniques that they were being taught, I was kind of just the punching bag, honestly, for them, and that's where I got to do a lot of my sparring. And the drills and the martial arts that we really got to work on was a lot of Kali. Kali is Filipino martial arts, Filipino knife and stick fighting.
Okay.
So
I know
with,
what that is.
Yeah,
That shit's hardcore, man.
It's really fun, dude.
Yeah.
And the beauty of Kali is that whatever weapon you have, whether it's a knife, a machete, a shovel,
Okay.
the angles and lines and the movements don't change. So it can correlate to almost any type of weapon.
Okay.
And I've heard personal stories of how their Kali has literally saved their lives.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it or whatever. They didn't
Hey,
really
whatever
want
you-
to talk too much about it, but I've heard some really cool stories and how it's really helped them out a lot.
Yeah.
I love what Krav Maga has done for a mass level, because it's
What's
not
Krav Maga? Where's that come from?
from
Israel?
Israel, yeah.
Israel.
It's
Okay,
Israeli
martial
that in
arts,
there.
Yeah, there you go.
Because your name, I love it. Yeah, so the Mossad have really pushed, which is the Israeli Special Forces. They've helped create a system of martial arts that's very direct, very straightforward. And I think it's an interesting thing to think about when you have to teach an entire country. Everybody, as soon as they turn 18, has to join the military, right?
Yeah.
So you have a mass group of people that you have to train, men and women. So how do you make them as efficient as possible? I don't think Krav Maga has very much of an art to it. To me, it's a little bit boring and too direct. But when you're trying to teach a group of people and you have to make sure that they're trained within 6 months to a year, make sure that their reaction time is right on point and they can attack, I think Krav Maga has really great instincts.
It does. I mean, I've seen Krav Maga. I did it for a little bit. I think it's very respectable, and I think there's elements of Krav Maga in SOC P, which is Special Operations Combatives Program.
Right.
And that's pretty much just kill. Like that's your end goal, is just hurt the other person. It's not like get away, create space, and like use your weapon. It's like
It's kind of the
eye
complete
gouges.
opposite.
It's
Yeah,
like
close the
rubbing
gap.
dirt in your face. It's like the down and dirty type of combatives, which is super cool. But yeah, I know, like, going back to SOC P, as far as our experience, is pretty much just like you said, like trigger fingers, basically creating space. Like if you don't have your gun, get to a gun or get to the closest gun you can. And that was basically, I know we did a lot of barrel checking, like butt stroking, which is funny because you just use your butt stock to knock someone over the head.
Dude,
But-
that'll fuck you up.
Yeah, it
man.
does. It works.
It's a hard
Fuck you
metal
up.
object.
Real
Exactly,
quick,
and it's
yeah.
like work to a knife or something, but all the main goal is like get back to your gun as soon as possible and be able to utilize it. So that's that's awesome.
I don't know if it's the same. I don't know where this guy came from, but there was a guy kind of going through. I don't know if where we got the Blower suits from, but there was a guy who was trying to innovate, and he was trying to do things like using your body armor to smash somebody's head in, like doing body slams into your body armor, or like using your helmet like for headbutts and stuff like that.
It works,
So
man.
trying to use the same kind of thing, like a bit
sure.
of that idea of like using whatever you have in your person, and stuff like that. But I didn't get a lot of experience with that kind of training. But it's the same kind of concept.
Sure.
Sign me up. That sounds brutal,
Damn,
dude.
that sounds fun. Yeah.
Headbutting someone with a helmet on. We used to mess around in like basic training by like, kick me in the chest as hard as you can, just to see, because no one ever had plates before, and it's just like
damn.
you could have dudes running like straight up drop kicking guys with their plates on, knocking them to the ground. They're like, I didn't feel a thing.
That's so fun.
Yeah, dude.
We did a lot of boxing and wrestling as well too.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think
With the seals and stuff.
yeah.
That kind of, okay, cool.
So I think when it comes to cadence and rhythm that can mimic a fight scenario, boxing and wrestling, and when I say wrestling, I'm talking like it could be jiu-jitsu, doesn't really matter, but some type of ground game, they mimic how a fight would really happen. Boxing cadence is very similar to a real life fight because a punch or a kick isn't stagnant. Everything happens in milliseconds, right?
Right.
So boxing is just a flow of movement just coming at you. You got to be able to roll with the punches, literally. And same with wrestling or jiu-jitsu. So as long as you understand and you're comfortable in that cadence in those systems, then you start to apply different martial arts in between there. So that's kind of what we were taught.
Nice. Let me ask you this, kind of translating more into the entertainment industry. Are there forms of martial arts that kind of lend themselves to like they are prettier to watch, or that you might are more spectacular and stuff like that? What are some of the things that like work better for like film that are like real flashy kind of stuff? You know,
I mean, I grew up in it, and I can literally say it. But I started Taekwondo when I was 4.
Okay.
I think that's super. Like, I wouldn't use too much of my Taekwondo in a real life scenario.
Okay.
I mean, there are moments where your Taekwondo kicks would definitely work, but it's a complicated thing. But Taekwondo is so pretty and so beautiful to watch. And the way that exactly. So if you're able to understand your lines and your movement and you're able to jump, spin, flip, and all this stuff in the air, Taekwondo is such a great introductory like martial arts to be able to branch out in so many different arts too. So I think starting in Taekwondo, honestly, was one of the best things that could have happened to me because you're taught the hardest thing to do, which is to kick. Not many people can kick. You're taking the largest muscle group and bone structure in your body and doing some crazy things, right? Like it requires agility, flexibility, accuracy, your balance, all of those things. Once you have that foundation, then you start learning all these other things. Yeah. But for cool, real life fighting, I'd probably go Muay Thai instantly. Okay. Those guys are fucking killers, dude.
Oh, yeah. You seen the videos of them knocking down trees? Like, I don't know how you build up that much conditioning on your shins to knock over those banana trees. Those dudes are gnarly. And it's all flying knees and elbows.
Yeah.
That's the only ones that I really see utilize, like elbow strikes and knee strikes the most is Muay Thai. Those guys are hard.
They ain't no joke, man.
No, that's awesome.
Wait, jumping tracks real quick.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Fighter in the Wind?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
It's a Korean movie. Okay. It's about, speaking of like kicking trees, there was the guy who came up with like the hard body style where you're like out there punching trees and kicking rocks and stuff. He was a Korean dude. You guys can go out and find it, but he was a conscript from with the Japanese. He was a Korean.
Yeah.
He was conscripted by the Japanese army during World War II. He ended up staying there and falling in love with the Japanese woman. He ended up going around and defeating all of the grand masters of all the Japanese dojos and stuff just to like show them up, stuff like that. There's a legend that he was fighting a bull and he like hit the bull's horn off. It's always like legendary stuff. Fighter in the Wind.
Fighter in the Wind.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's really
all right, man.
I haven't seen that either.
Anyway, we can put that in the action.
Yeah.
There you go.
Out for a bit.
Yeah, dude, I need to check out Ronin 47. I was like late night Facebooking last night, just like scrolling through videos.
Ronin? That's a Kurosawa movie?
I think so. Okay. It's like a ridiculous. It's almost like Sucker Punch.
Oh no, that's Takeshi Miike. Yeah, kind of a newer one. Yeah,
it's a newer one.
Is that with Keanu?
No, that's is that?
It is. Yeah, he plays like the samurai.
Yeah.
No, definitely that. I saw like snippets of it. I'm like, these fight scenes look super cool, man. Not to mention, I'm a huge monster guy. Like, if you can come up with a weird looking monster to fight,
a fantasy film.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Sidetrack successful. Sidetrack conversation successful.
Bringing it back.
Let me bring it back in with another question. Yes. This one caught my eye because there is like a video going around right now that's almost a laughingstock in the firearms community, and it's a police officer demonstrating like how to disarm a gunman pretty much.
Shit.
And he like just grabs the gun and like there's memes going on when it's like, if you do this, and then they cut it, and like the dude's in heaven all of a sudden. Because it's like, in your experience, is there an actual like method of disarming a gunman, or what do you think the best way? If someone's just posted up on you, gun in your face, what are you gonna do? Do you have experience with that, or?
Yeah, we've trained a lot of gun disarm stuff, but it's very tricky to like go over. I think the most important thing that I've learned is, when you're dealing with guys that can stay calm when a gun is pointed at you, they're very scary people.
Yeah.
So I think that's the hardest thing is like when a gun's pointed at you, the energy in the room completely changes.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, a lot of that training has been to like learn how to calm yourself down, hyper focus on the scenario right there, and then you got to analyze the situation. Like, what type of person is holding the weapon, right? That's one of the first things. You know, if it's just a guy that looks desperate for money, you know, just give him your money. Is this a trained person that has a weapon on you? There are a lot of, you know, things that you're probably thinking about that you have to figure out in a half second. Are there techniques that you can actually disarm? Yes. But you have to be very fucking talented. Yeah.
Quick and fast
very,
and
very
precise.
talented.
Yeah.
That's one of those moments that you train your entire life for that one moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
hope you never have to have that moment. You know what I mean?
But what we were kind of taught is that, you know, a lot of LAPD guys, he was actually he was a chaplain for the LAPD as well, my old instructor too. So he taught a lot of SWAT and LAPD guys. And he would say that the scariest thing to fight is a person that has a knife. They would rather fight somebody with a gun any day, because even then, like, you don't know if their safety's on. They don't, you know, maybe they didn't load it or chamber their gun correctly. There's a certain level of training that you guys obviously know that you have to have for a firearm. Right? A knife, anybody could pick up a knife and start swinging around, especially if they're on drugs. They're going to be almost invincible.
Oh yeah,
It's
one thing.
very difficult to
Yeah,
fight.
one thing, especially on people on drugs. Like, we were taught. Everyone's like, oh, two to the chest, one in the head, and I was like, I was taught shoot them until they're not breathing on the ground. So like,
17 in
everyone,
the chest,
and it was like, if you go into place, because I mean, a lot of the opium's a big thing overseas, and like these dudes are pumping themselves up with who knows what, and like one shot, everyone thinks you shoot someone with a gun, they're done.
They're not even going to feel it.
They're not even gonna feel it. Like,
And that
you
15, 30 seconds, that's all they need. They ain't going to feel
to
it.
close with and start, you know, doing some damage to you. So I was always taught just like literally shoot them in hopes that you know, either hit them in the medulla oblongata or just disable something to keep them from moving. So when all my privates were like, just 2, 3, like we go in the shoot house and they'd shoot the target 3 times, and I was like, you need to put at least half a mag in that target. Like, like, start training right now of how to be really trigger happy. And people are gonna be like, that sounds fucking crazy.
No,
but
it's true.
It's true. Like, that's, you look at videos of cops like bringing down people now, and they shoot them once, and like, you, especially people when they tase them first and they just keep coming back. It's like, who's this fucking zombie?
Yeah.
They shake it off.
They shake it off and they come right back at you. So that's, drugs are no joke.
Yeah.
Nuts,
Absolutely.
man. Hell. Well, cool. That's good to know.
What are your talking about like your like inspirations and stuff, like the action movie realm is where you're working and that's your specialty. What are some of your big inspirations or some of your favorite movies that have, you know, inspired you and stuff that you want to, or action stars, any one of those movies, action stars, who do you think of?
Wow, that's a very complicated question.
Is it?
It's very complicated.
When you're a kiddo, who was on your wall?
I mean,
do you have a movie poster on your
the
wall?
main one, Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
all fucking
I see
day
it,
long.
man. I see it. I'm scoping your Instagram, man. What's up? Ooh, you get the quickness, man.
Bruce Lee, but it's not because of the movies that he made. Like, honestly, his true genius in the martial arts he created and in his books and his philosophies. So, you know, that's a huge inspiration for... I have a good group of guys that I really admire, and I've studied their history. Like, I know like how old he was when he got his first movie deal, where he was living, what he was doing financially.
Stalker.
Yeah, stalker. Yeah, I'm like, study everything, because like at the end of the day, like, do we all know what we're really fucking doing? We kind of don't. Like, we know where we want to go, but like, how do we get there, right? So for me, I'm my own boss and I have a team of people that follow me, but I'm checking the people before me and how they did, you know, how they chased their ambitions. Bruce Lee was a massive one for me, for sure. I mean, obviously still is, but it's because of not the movies that he made, but what he said between the movies. That's such a huge thing for me. And I call myself fake famous. I'm not really fucking famous at all.
You're famous in my book, man.
You're famous in our hearts.
Exactly.
There's a level of fame that I've been able to gather in the martial arts community for sure. But it's very different when you're like a famous model or you're a famous makeup guru, or in this case, I'm a famous martial artist. That martial arts transcends so much and it means something so deep to these individuals and what I really represent, because there's so much philosophy and inspiration and motivation that comes with it.
Yeah.
So this has all been kind of my game plan since I was like 15. Like I knew exactly what I wanted to fucking do. I've been planning this since I was young. Yeah. So Bruce Lee was a massive part of that for sure.
That's cool.
For
That's
sure.
a great answer. That's a better answer than not that I expected. I mean, I expected an answer. But I'm like
pop
intrigued.
culture field manual.
Yeah, but like, I like the Matrix. That's my inspiration. Like, actually, it's the velocity. Well, okay, all right, good, man.
Nice, man.
That's right on.
Well, let me ask you, what if you had to pick like your favorite job that you've done thus far? Like, what is something that, like, if you had kids that just grew up instantly in front of your face and you were like, and they're like, Dad or Mom, whatever you identify as.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, what is your favorite thing that you've done? And you can't say have you, because that's corny.
Wells Fargo presents one of the surest ways to grow your money. A Wells Fargo CD account, where you can earn a 5.00% annual percentage yield on an 11-month term with a minimum opening deposit of $5,000. Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/CD rates to open a CD account and start growing your savings with us.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Well, I'm working on something right now I can't talk about, which is pretty cool, but it's not going to go down in the books as my favorite thing, honestly. And it's for Warner Brothers. I'm on contract, can't talk about it, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be super fun once everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
But honestly, dude, like I live, project to project, job to job. We have 5 things happening at once. It's hard to remember every single job that I've done and the people that I've worked with. I was just telling Raina the other day, oh yeah, we filmed at the Trump golf course and I was working for Michael Bay's TV show and blah, blah, blah. I don't really remember that stuff till I just see it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'm living the dream, dude. Like
right on.
Every single day I get to just train every morning. I get to work on the projects I want and I'm having a great fucking time, dude. So,
Every day is your favorite day.
Dude, it is.
That's awesome. I love that.
Even when like we're dealing with big money right now. There's a lot of pressure. Big investment firms that are putting serious money into us right now. Yeah. And the stress and anxiety levels really, really fucking high. So I may go to sleep like thinking about work, but I wake up like it's Christmas the next day. Because I'm like, fuck yeah, I get to do the shit I want to fucking do. Finally, yes.
Yeah. The gratitude, man, that's really key, man, that you wake up grateful and stuff like that, because that can change your whole perspective, because you could be in the same situation and only be focused on what the stress and the problems and the mistakes you've made or whatever. But if you wake up gratitude is like a superpower to me. Like I try to wake up grateful every single day. Yeah. Because I'm kind of, I kind of started off on my own, doing my own thing this year as well. You know? So I appreciate that. That's key, man. I appreciate that you said that for anybody listening.
When I started, dude, I was a fucking nobody, dude. I was just like a kid that, I had already trained for X amount of years, right? 4 years old. But there are kids at like 17 years old that are already world champions. I was a fucking nobody. I just had a huge heart, vision, and fire. And the right people took me in. And unfortunately, I watched my old instructor, he passed away, and I was a part of that process. And he really fucking believed in me. I was his last student. He's attached to Danny Inosanto's school. He taught at the Inosanto Academy for over 25 years. So all my college, Jeet Kune Do, my boxing, my kickboxing is all from that lineage. He taught me, and he was the guy that taught a lot of military as well too. I learned everything, and not just how to be a martial artist, but how to be a human fucking being through him. So I have a lot of reason to remember where I've come from, because I didn't have a lot. I couldn't even afford like $200 or $300, dude. Like, he gave me money to be able to take his daughter. I was dating his daughter. That's how I fucking met him. That went for a long time.
Talk about I dated her for a while. Like, have her back by 10 or I'll fucking kill you.
Well, I met him. The first time I met him, he was cleaning his weapons at the house. I'm not even fucking joking.
Classic dad move.
Classic dad move. I'm like 17. I sat on the couch with him, and I was like, oh my God, can you please teach me how to clean a weapon?
He totally backfired on him.
He's like, I fucking hate this. God damn it. I'm going to like this kid.
That's awesome, man.
And I just kept bugging him all the time, like, please train me, please teach me. And he like just showed me everything he could. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us. And I remember those memories so well. I will never forget what he was able to give me, and so many other instructors. So I always kind of say that my life doesn't belong to me. My life is a combination of so many powerful people that have believed in me and have given me not money, not material possessions. They've given me their spirits, and it lives through my martial arts, and it's on film. So yeah,
that's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I really like that. Just because a lot of people skirt by now, and they either have everything handed to them or they come from nothing, right? And you see the ones that come from nothing appreciate it way more.
Yeah.
So, and I know, like, personally, I don't have a cool ass fucking mentor like you. But I like to say, like, hey, my mom. You know, my mom's a great inspiration in my life, and not a motivator, a mentor, a life coach. Yeah. So, like, just having someone that believes in you at all times. Yeah. Even when you're on your darkest day, you're like, if you don't believe in yourself, you still have someone there to believe in you. So that's something awesome, man. And that's something to appreciate really more than, what you currently have.
Yeah. That makes me think about legacy, right?
Yeah.
Because you are carrying, who they are is living on through you. And then who you inspire, if you give them those same lessons, that you will live on through them. And all of a sudden it's this intergenerational thing that has 100 years down the line, these same lessons are living on, and all of a sudden you're a part. You have a legacy that you've passed on and stuff, and that's I think something that I think anybody, and I might be so bold to say, men especially, we want a legacy. Yeah. You know what I mean? We want something that will live on after ourselves.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times it's people have kids and stuff, and that's how they live their legacy. But like somebody like in the entertainment industry and stuff. I mean, look at you. I mean, you are being inspired by Bruce Lee, who's been gone for many years now, and yet his legacy lives on through you, and then who knows who you'll inspire and stuff with your thing.
That's a really interesting point, because I was taught by Mike Wise, who taught at the Inosanto Academy for over 25 years, Simon and Philip Ree. All my Taekwondo, Hapkido, Korean style martial arts all come from them, and my film career is because of them. I was taught by Mitsu Yamashita, who is his 7th or 9th degree black belt in Aikido. Ooh. He trained me in all that. And he taught at a community college where I learned boxing. And he was
a legend teaching at a community college.
He's like a part of the Danny Inosanto era with Chuck Norris. And he actually was best friends with my best friend's family, who were all on the same fight team as Chuck Norris. And we're all friends with Bruce, that whole 70s, 60s like generation. So I learned from Mitsu Yamashita, and his assistant, his name is Jeff Nakamura. Jeff was one of the most, he's not going to like that I talk about him. Very private. But he is probably like the Einstein of martial arts, like the most talented martial artist I've ever learned from, but like so goddamn talented, can't like function in society. I'm not even joking. It's fucking crazy. His mind is so far gone, but the design and techniques and how he's built things, he's just a genius. Wow. So that was like my foundation for so long. And I'm very protective of my lineage. So it's interesting that you say that. And I actually don't really publicly teach. I'll never own a school. I charge way too fucking much to teach private lessons, and people pay it. And to this day, I probably only have like 1 or 2 people that I've really trained. And it's a very small circle. It's a very tight circle, because I really cherish what they've showed me. And it's hard for me to teach martial arts because it's too personal for me. I get too heavily invested in somebody, because that's the problem with Asian style systems. Is Japanese, Korean, Chinese styles, they have forms and sets that they teach, right? So if you join a school, you have to learn a certain set. The problem is that everybody's built differently, thinks differently, feels differently. You can't teach the same person the same thing ever. So I look at somebody as a blank canvas and I say, how am I going to be able to maximize their efficiency? Everybody is built differently, thinks differently, feels differently, right? Especially like I can't teach somebody how to high kick that isn't flexible enough, but maybe that they're more intelligent or they appreciate more of the philosophical aspects versus somebody that's like a pure athlete. They have the body mechanics just to fucking move, right? So it's hard just to be able to train one person a specific way. That's the weakness of the Asian arts, really. It's a Bruce Lee mentality to be able to, it's actually an American mentality. Americans are built to just think differently. We push individuality in our culture. Asian cultures, it's the opposite. It's about community.
Right.
I think it's important to have both.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, it's too much of a headache for me to think about all that stuff. I have so much going on.
I was gonna say you got enough going on right now to start your own school, man.
For me to want to teach somebody, they have to just really inspire me. They have to really just move my heart, and then I money can't even be a thing. It's difficult. Yeah.
But I'm sure the ones you teach will remember you, just like you remember your teachers and you remember your teachers' teachers.
Yeah.
When you when we were talking about legacy, it kind of brought a quote up, and I was on the Google machine. I was like, who the fuck said this? And I couldn't find who said it. I think Banksy was the last person that mentioned
Love
it.
it.
I just loved it. But the quote was, and not to mention this kind of goes off Memorial Day, which just passed, and it's they say you die twice. So you die first when you breathe your last breath, and then later you die again when your name is no longer spoken. So,
fuck, I'm never dying twice.
Yeah. I mean, the people you teach and the people that inspire you, and you leave your legacy, you will live on forever. Just like you remember the ones that fought for freedom and lost their lives. They will never they will live forever, just because we will never forget.
Right.
So, and I think that element right there really attaches itself to all lineages of teachers, of mentors, of guides. So and so Bruce Lee will never technically die.
No, fuck no.
I'm
He's
sure
on forever.
if you choose to teach, which probably not, but I mean your friends and whoever you talk to about Bruce will always they will then pass that down.
Yeah.
He will live forever.
Yeah.
So that's super cool, man.
Let me ask you this. That kind of brings up something. You are in a field that there's a lot of action movies out there.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think about when you think about innovation or bringing something new or kind of pushing the medium? What thoughts kind of occupy your mind in terms of that?
For now, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. Okay. And I take a lot of inspiration from different types of actors. So I honestly don't even think of what we do as action movies. I think about telling the best story possible. All right. So first and foremost, we're storytellers. Okay. Story is king. And I think doing that in itself is already a game changer because in my opinion, I love my martial arts. I don't really care for too many action movies. Okay. There's a huge niche just for these super successful B-list movies. I don't really care for them because the story is not very interesting. If I want to watch the fight, I'll YouTube it. Yeah. And I don't want my movies ever to be that way. Okay. Ever. I want it to have a good story attached to it. And obviously a part of that is telling the right messages in between. That's way more important than any kick or any punch, any fight scene I can ever create. The story is king. The message is king. No one's going to remember me by my kick. I'll tell you right now. It's by what I say and how I say it.
That's cool, man. I 100% agree. Yeah. I mean, it's just a simple storytelling thing. You don't care about the action if you don't care about the characters. Exactly. You know what I mean? If you're not emotionally invested in them, you don't care what they're going through. That's super cool. Yeah.
I don't know if that answered your question or not.
No, it did. No, it answered it better. Again, with the answer better than the questions. You weren't ready for this. Yeah. You're going deep, man. We need a different podcast now. Talk about deep issues. We'll open up about our feelings and stuff.
Let's talk about pop culture.
Weapons. No, that's cool, man.
That's so funny.
I'm not. Nobody's gonna remember, American Ninja 4 or whatever. It's a derivative. It's just a formula, but. I liked it, even because the short films you do, on your Instagram and things like that, with Simu Liu, I saw that one the other day.
Oh,
man.
Awesome!
There's a little bit of the setting tells a story. You're tied up. Yeah. He comes in. You guys immediately talk about stupid stuff, which is they're friends.
Yep.
They're totally lighthearted. This is a life and death situation. Yep. Then you do the action. Yeah. And then there's a little bit of banter afterwards and stuff, and that's really endearing because it's relatable. Yeah. Because I can't do all the stuff that you guys can do. Right. But I know I have friends. We joke around. I have friends.
I'm the only one.
It's true.
Learning to keep lighthearted in a tense situation is a very fun concept to watch.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Unless you're at a funeral and you try to crack a joke or something.
Fuck.
Time and place.
Time and place.
Someone lets out a fart at a funeral to be funny or something. something.
Are you speaking from experience? Is this something that we need to talk about?
Okay,
All right, man. Well,
yeah, we're
yeah.
good.
Well, yeah,
I think we're good
so,
on
yeah.
that. All right, get out of
Okay,
here.
yeah.
You want it?
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
No, but I think this is a good point in our little podcast here that we can transition to our game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's play a little game at the
All
end.
right.
man, just
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
So
Talk about
this one,
funerals and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lighten it up a little bit.
light it
Let's
up.
line it up,
Lighten
yeah.
man. Okay, so game time. So we'll call this one "Who Would Win in a Fight."
Oh,
so
shit.
We're gonna name off 2 famous martial artists or just movie video game characters.
Yeah, maybe
And you-
characters
Okay.
or the actual person.
Yeah. I'm
And
in.
you're gonna tell us who you think would win in a fight and why.
Okay.
And keep your, because now I'm looking at these names. I'm like, man, we should have picked different names. Because you're gonna be like, well, now it's considering the style and the in-depth. 10 minutes later, we're like, no, just tell us who would win. Explosions in video games.
Love it.
We have from on high chosen which would be the objectively correct
Oh,
answer. So,
shit.
yeah,
That
we
adds a
get
whole
this
other
wrong.
element to
That's
this.
right, yeah.
Okay.
We know because we hold the bias.
It's
here.
our
This is
podcast.
our podcast.
So-
Yeah.
So we're right in the end. All right, man. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this one I already know who you're gonna pick, but just cause. Bruce Lee versus Jet Li.
Bruce, that's fucking hard. I love Jet Li. Bruce Lee all day long. He's like one of
In
my
their primes.
favorite.
Yeah.
Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah.
I love Jet Li in what is it, Forbidden Kingdom? Him and Jackie Chan.
Yeah, him and Jackie.
That was
Yeah.
one of his later ones, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't one of his later ones. That just aged myself, but I still love it. Especially
Jet Li
Whitewood.
has my favorite movies as an action actor. Like his whole lineup, every fucking movie he's done, dude. The cast lineup, the story, cinematography.
It's great.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I
good,
love
man.
that. Yeah.
Hero's one of my favorites. One.
Yes, Hero, Fearless, all of them, dude.
Oh, the correct answer is Bruce Lee.
Yeah, of course.
correct answer
Of
is
course.
I feel like the
Yeah.
correct answer is always Bruce. Okay, next one.
Yeah.
Rambo versus John Matrix.
Oh,
John Matrix, Arnold Schwarzenegger's
shit.
character from Commando.
Got you. Damn, I don't know. That's hard. I feel like Rambo is so goddamn iconic.
Yeah, he is.
I'm gonna pick Rambo. I just
Rambo?
think, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
that is the correct answer.
Okay, yeah.
Fewer puns, more skills. You were right.
Yep,
Exactly.
yep. All right.
Does-
Around.
Wrong movie.
All right.
Moving forward. Oh, this one's. I don't agree with this answer though, but it's my podcast, so we'll made it down. Okay.
Go on the fly, man.
Chuck Norris versus Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Chuck Norris all day long. He has the jokes for fucking days.
That's right. I
He
feel like
does.
The jokes have made him infinitely like immortal.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's more of an idea than a person. Now.
Yeah.
He is,
But
yeah.
the other side to that though, I mean, not really, but Chuck Norris was actually a fighter.
Yeah.
Like he competed, he fought. He was heavy like into the competition days. That's how Bruce actually met him. Was the Long Beach Internationals, and he used to fight for real all the time. Van Damme was not a real martial artist, and that's a huge controversy around
Oh,
him.
really? I didn't even know that. I just
Yeah.
know Bloodsport. I know the splits off the 2 semi-trucks.
He was a dancer. He
was a dancer?
Yeah, he was not a martial artist. So there's a huge controversy with him to this day.
Really?
Where people are like, oh, he's not a real martial artist. Blah,
Okay,
blah,
we have
blah.
to unfollow him off our Instagram.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the movies that he's
Yeah,
made.
no, he's great. Plus,
I think
the guy.
the movies that he's made are way more iconic than Chuck.
Yeah.
But I would pick Chuck any day.
Okay, well, the
Yeah.
answer is Chuck Norris. And I
Okay.
just said I don't agree with this just because I love Bloodsport.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
the guy that does our intro, Stan Bush, did the music for Bloodsport.
Oh, that's
So-
dope.
Yeah,
Damn, that's
so-
dope.
Yeah, and I love the video of him on the semi truck, and it's going. They both pull apart. And
Oh,
he
yeah,
does
yeah,
the
yeah,
center
yeah. He
splits
does the
on it,
center
and it adds
splits,
the
yeah.
music. I think that's hilarious. But no, Chuck Norris, you're absolutely right. Thanks for changing my mind.
He was a 7-time world champion
7-time.
Wow.
of karate.
Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
In the golden era of karate.
Wow,
with
man.
Joe Louis, all the fucking like OG cats.
Cream of the crop.
Cream of the
Cream of
when
the
it used to mean something when you had a black belt and fucking hair on your chest. That's Chuck
He had
Norris era.
both.
He had fucking both. Yeah.
Do you have an iconic Chuck Norris joke that you could spit off the
Oh,
top
I
of
don't
your dome?
fucking know. Dude. I'm not Gemma. I'm sorry.
I think my favorite one is he doesn't do push-ups, he does earth downs.
Yeah, it pushes their. Yeah.
He doesn't have a chin behind his beard, just another fist.
That's so good.
Okay,
Next one.
Daniel Craig's James Bond versus Sean Connery's James Bond.
Oh, don't do that to me, motherfucker. God damn, that's so hard.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery's he paved the fucking way, dude. He started really making Bond what it was supposed to become. But
Suave, cool, collected, yeah.
I'm so biased. I'm gonna say Daniel Craig.
You are incorrect, sir.
You're incorrect.
Sean Connery.
He would fight 100% dirty.
He'd fight dirty. He's a dirty Scotsman, so.
Wait. I forgot who we're picking. Like who would win in a fight, right? I just picked who was cooler to me.
Okay, no.
Your mother's a whore, Craig.
That's so funny, Sean
The
Connery.
day is mine.
Yeah.
The day is mine. Okay, next one. Moving on. This
Last
is our
one.
last one.
Yeah.
All right. So Neo from Matrix or John Wick.
Damn. I picked John Wick.
John Wick?
John
Good.
Wick.
That is the correct answer.
That's the correct
because
answer, yeah.
Neo was only good when he was plugged into the Matrix. In the real world, he was just a regular guy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That was kind of a trick question.
I got
And we
you.
are real. We exist.
That's right.
We don't play that video
Or
game
do we?
shit.
I don't know. Maybe we're on the Matrix
I don't
right
know.
now.
Towards the end of the third one, he just fucking force powered the machines.
Yeah,
and
he kind of
shit.
just became a Jedi.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting that they're dropping the new Matrix and the new John Wick at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know
I don't
that.
know how Keanu's doing it. That dude is.
I don't know how they're doing Matrix 4, man. I remain skeptical.
A lot of people hated the last two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole controversy surrounding. Did you ever hear about that? The first one.
What's
the
the controversy?
I have no opinion on the matter,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
controversy was that they stole that first script from somebody, and they just said, "Oh, this is they made it," and that person tried to sue them because they got all the lawyer money. The person just backed off.
Wow, I did
it's
not know
It's
that.
why you notice that the first one is very different from the second and third one. Second and third one are basically just two long action movies.
Wow,
you
I
know?
did not know that.
Hey, who knows the real story? Maybe we'll never know, but it's an interesting food for thought.
Yeah, holy shit.
Maybe this is their
Podcast
redemption. Maybe this is their redemption.
Yeah,
that
maybe
they're
they're
coming
gonna
out.
get back.
Damn.
They're like, we wrote this one ourselves.
Maybe they stole another good
That's
script.
so
I don't know.
crazy. It happens all the time. That happens all the time, unfortunately.
I think it does.
Yeah.
You killed it, man. Good job.
All right.
Cam,
did-
yeah.
yeah.
No, sorry, I'm always hanging out with this guy. Cameron. I mean, no, I got you. I did it again.
I'm over here. But
Myself.
So funny.
anyways, it was a pleasure having you on, man. If you want, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you, what you're up, what to look forward to.
Yeah, you guys can just find me on my Instagram, Noah
Okay.
Flater. It's right there.
Yep.
And
Can't
that's kind of all I'm posting on, yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, sir.
You got a lot to do, man. So it's good to focus one social media platform at a
I have
time,
TikTok and shit,
You
but
got
I
the
don't
TikTok?
really
You a
care.
TikToker?
Yeah, dude, my TikTok's bigger than my Instagram, but
Just repost, man.
yeah, that's kind of what I do, and
Yeah.
it just blew up.
There you
But my Instagram is like what I focus on for now.
I need to get a TikTok so I can start posting shirtless dancing.
Do
You get
it,
my
yes.
OnlyFans page, go to
Oh shit! I'll subscribe. I got you, bro.
No, thanks. Die-hard fan, I appreciate it.
Yeah, pay me, not Pornhub, dude. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We release a new podcast every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe to the Pop Culture Field Manual on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you tune in for podcasts. If you want to say hello or send us some love, you can follow us on Instagram at PCFM Podcast, or write us an email at pcfmpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep, and if you want to hang out with me a little bit more, I stream live on Twitch every Monday and Wednesday evening from 3 to 8 p.m. and every Friday morning from 7 a.m. until noon. You can go to twitch.tv/myhappyself.
And if you want to check out my streetwear brand, go ahead and check out Kick God Apparel on Instagram, or go to www.kickgodapparel.com.
All right, everybody. Take it easy. We'll see you on the next one.
Take care. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can. In the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.